Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Dr. Sarah, and in this channel today I'm going to share with you how I was able to improve my grades when I was going through high school and when I was going through my medical school, and how I was able to succeed right now. I am a pharmacist by profession, full-time, and I'm also a YouTuber. I encourage students on things concerning education. I talk about productivity in school. I talk about depression and stress among students. So I'll be happy to share with you my one secret and how I was able to succeed in life. Many years ago when I was going through high school, I wasn't a brilliant student. Actually, there's a point in life whereby I was doing very poorly in my grades and I just didn't care. And this might be a condition that many students are in right now, and especially now when there is so much stress among the young people. There's so much stress, so they tend just to give up on life and they don't see why they should work hard anymore. Now, at this particular point in my life, I was comfortable, I can say. I could look back and see both my parents are there and I could get everything I wanted. So I didn't feel like I didn't put so much emphasis on education, I can say. Now, your situation might be different, but what we aim is one thing. We all have a desire and we all want to be able to perform and to be able to succeed in life, whether you have it or you don't have it. The ultimate goal in a human life is to be able to succeed. And if that is your goal, then this channel is for you. This video today is for you. For that particular time and that particular moment in my life when I was doing so poorly, I felt like I needed to do something. Because at one point I had the realization of what happens if my parents are to pass away. What happens to me? So the first step to actually succeed in life is to have that why and to have that big question in your mind of what if. What if? So for me, my what if was, what if my parents are to pass away today and everything that I have, I don't have it anymore? Then I won't have anything on my plate to try to attract anyone to come to my help. I was performing poorly in class. I wasn't a serious student. And so that is the one thing that actually made me wake up from my sleep and decided I had to do something. Now, it wasn't easy. But after so many years and looking back, because when I was going through this, I actually didn't know that it's a process in a human life, and it's actually one of the factors that propel people to succeed. But having looked back and having had so many motivational speakers talking about it, reading it in books, and I realized, oh, actually I was doing this one thing that every successful person does. And in this video today, I have come out to share with you this one factor that actually have always been propelling me into pushing and getting whatever I want to get in life. And this one factor is desperation. Yes, I've said it. It's desperation. That is that one big factor that will help you propel you into whatever you want to get in life. How desperate are you in getting those grades that you want to get? How desperate are you in wanting to improve your business? How desperate are you in getting or reaching the goals that you want to reach? So for me, at that point in life as a child, I became desperate. I said it's now or never. Now, when you start on the first stages of desperation, definitely desperation comes with a little bit of frustration, because now you're desperate and you don't have a roadmap of how you should start in this journey, how you should go about things. It's a strange journey for you, whether if you want to increase your grades, whether you want to improve in your career. It's a strange place that you're about to embark, and it might make you feel uncomfortable, but don't stop being desperate. So when I was desperate, the second thing that I had to conquer in my desperation is fear. I knew which teacher to approach to ask for help. But my mathematics teacher, can't remember his name, but I remember he was such a, I think I can say, a bully. He was sort of a bully. He was so strict, and he didn't like nonsense. So I had that fear to approach him and ask for help. And actually my fear had been confirmed several times, because several times I went to him with a mathematical question that I was finding it hard, and he could actually just chase me away from the door of the staff room and say, have you asked the best student in class about that mathematics? Why are you coming to me? Go and ask first. So you see, already my fear had been confirmed over and over again. Rule number 2 that I've come to learn for you to succeed is to conquer your fear. Go again and again. Do it again and again. Repeat it again and again until you overcome that fear, until it becomes a routine to you. And anything that becomes a routine to you, anything that you become familiar with, whether it's the familiarity of the voice of your teacher or his character or his mannerism, you become so familiar to it until that fear just goes away. The pressure that we experiences in life is not always met with positivity, and actually most of the time the pressure that we experience in life is always met with negativity. It's like the negative force pushing you backwards from attaining your goals. So you have to be emotionally equipped, emotionally be able to sustain yourself emotionally to push through all the negative things that are pushing you backwards. While going through medical school, there was this negative force always pushing me behind. You know, you can't understand something well because maybe the language, the pronunciations and everything, and you always constantly are on somehow in contact with your professors. They tend to feel maybe you're not getting it. Again, there is settling in a foreign country and everything. But anyway, back to my point is that I was going through a lot of negative forces outside of even my medical course itself, and coming back to class and facing also the stress and the tension that involves going through medical school, I had to be emotionally equipped to stand and conquer everything, because at that time my mother was not there, my siblings were not there, my auntie was not there. I didn't have any grown-up person, and anytime that I could interact with them, there's just so much that you can talk over the phone or on long distances. And so I had to be able to find a way to fight these things myself. So one of the ways that, looking back, and it's something that we all do, and up to today so many people do it unconsciously, is when you're going through a situation whereby you have to be emotionally stretched back and forth. Number one thing to do is to choose your battles. Choose your battles. You don't have to always win in all the battles. There are some of the battles that you just keep them aside and you say, this is not my piece of cake. You don't have to deal with it. Things to do with walking down the streets and people calling me monkey or something, or what. You know, the things that can affect. But you know, those battles I decided to keep them aside because they were not me. It was their arrogance or ignorance or whatever, that person, individual. So choose your battles wisely. Whatever it is that is affecting you directly, affecting your goals and affecting your dreams, those are the battles that you should embark on winning. But things that are just superficial and environmental and things that are not affecting you, is not a matter of life and death, I will advise you just keep them off. If it is bullies in school, not unless they're not getting down into your emotional and disturbing your well-being, I will just assume and just push them aside, because those are not battles that you want to deal with. You already have enough on your plate. So number 3 is choose your battles wisely. Equip yourself emotionally to have like a bulletproof emotionally, to be able to prevent yourself from being hurt or being wavered back and forth by different kind of stresses. Then number 4, very, very important, is internal discipline. I know discipline is one of the things that has been talked about on and off, and a lot of emphasis is normally put on the physical or the outward discipline of how you wake up, what you eat, what time, how many hours you study, or things like that. But there's another form of discipline that comes from within. That is internal discipline. Discipline on what you think. Discipline on the kind of thoughts that you have and the kind of things you tell yourself. Discipline on how you look at your teachers. Discipline on how you look at your friends and how you look at your parents. That kind of discipline. If you discipline yourself to think positive, to reason positive, to push away negative, to feed inside yourself that which is positive, to involve yourself in positive activities, then that positivity not only comes from the outward being, but it's a kind of a positivity that comes from within. Now, it is easy to say these things if you're an adult and you know what you're addressing, but what if you are a parent and you want these things to actually come out from your child? Now, being a child, children are not able to actually put things into titles. Like they might not be able to know that what I'm doing is referred as being desperate, or what I'm doing is referred to being disciplined, or things like that. So as a parent, you should be able to narrow your kids' habits and characters into these particular factors. Show them how teach them things that will direct the steps into, or bring out that desperation in them in a positive way, not in a stressing manner, not in a way that will demean your child in any manner, but bring out that desperation in your child to be able to perform in school. Create that discipline in your child, and the best way you can actually teach your children is by doing it yourself. They are very good in copying what you yourself as an individual you're doing, and actually they say your child is a photocopy of exactly who you are. So if you want to know who you are, just look at your children, your mannerism, how you talk, how you address on issues, how you do what. I know you know it is true what I'm saying. Our children are a photocopy, exactly a mirror image of exactly who we are. So your child will copy you, each and everything that you do. So if you yourself as a parent, you don't have that internal discipline, you don't expect your child to have that internal discipline, because if you keep on speaking negative utterance towards your child, that is exactly what he's going to think and throw back to you, and that's what he or she is going to run his life thinking. That's the kind of the mentality your child will have. So the kind of talk that you have as a parent, if you yourself, you have that internal discipline of being positive, of thinking positive, of feeding on to positive things and executing positive things, your child will be a mirror, a photocopy image of what you are doing. So the best way to teach your child actually is to do it yourself. Just be the discipline master. Be the person who brings out desperation in everything you do. You put in your 100% effort. And the last but not least is love. Just love yourself. Love what you're doing. love your family, love your work. Try as much as possible to love that cruel boss that you have. Love as we know it, and not referring to the filial love, which is love that involves the sexual relationship between a man and a woman or between partners. There's another form of love, the love that supersedes any other kind of feeling, the love that is unconditional, the love that is patient and it's self-giving. That is the love that I'm referring to. And if you love yourself to an extent whereby you always try to put yourself in the shoe of every other person, you'll be able to succeed in life. If, for example, I'll always use my example, when I was going through high school and I really wanted to succeed, and there was this particular girl in class who's a very good friend of mine till today, and she was a brilliant student. However, she didn't come from such a very well-off family, and I really needed her to help me. However, we really had very short period in school that we could be able to interact, and so for me to be able to improve in my grades, I decided on that particular holiday to ask her if I could visit her and live with her in her home so that we could be able to study together. And I remember her first reaction was to look at me and just wonder. And not only being in the shoe of that girl emotionally, but also being in her shoe physically made me understand her better and made me understand so many other things much better. I looked at life in a different perspective, and these are some of the things that really propelled me into working really hard in life. So back to my point, loving yourself is to be able to love someone else and love themselves, love those people beyond their skin, their race, their character, their attitude. It's that love that supersedes everything, and it's the love that you come out from your own self and try and fit into their self and try to feel their pain, feel their emotions, and feel their needs. That kind of love is the love that I'm talking about. And if you reach that point of love in your life, you'll be able to succeed in your businesses, because you'll be able to feel your clients' needs from a different perspective, and not only from the profit margin kind of perspective, but you will try and feel their emotions and feel their deep-rooted needs, and to be able to give to them, or try your best to give to them exactly what they need. And if you love yourself, and if you're a student, and if you love yourself and love yourself and everything that you do, you'll be able to come out of yourself and try and look at your parents differently. If they're not able to provide fully, you will be able to look at them and appreciate the little or the much that they have done. You will look at your teacher who has an attitude, and you will see that teacher in a different point of view. What if your teacher has a disturbing issue at home? Because human beings is not what you see. This is just a shell of us, but we have so many other things within us that actually influence the way we talk, the way we react to people, the way we what. So loving yourself in that manner, that you're able to remove yourself from your current situation and put yourself in that situation that you want, is a good way, and it will help you to be able to love another person in a different way, and not how that person presents himself to you. At the end of this video, if you're not able to remember everything that I've said, I just want you to remember the 4 points that I've talked about. You have to be desperate enough to follow your dreams and to follow them with everything that you have within yourself. You have to be emotionally equipped, You have to conquer all the fears that you have one at a time, and then you have to love yourself and love everyone else around you and everything that you do with everything that you have within you. Love unconditionally and love patiently. So thank you so much, and thank you for tuning in, and can't wait for the next video so that we can talk more. Bye.